Kyla, Yin Kyala, Bagel Bagel. My name is Max Dillon, Coupe, Kieran Galeen, Kombumerri, Noonuckle. I'd like to show you the post-Commonwealth Games report, but also I'd like to show you a bit more about how the local tribal owners are being disenfranchised by a larger native title language group, which isn't from our country. We have our own language, dialects. They're causing financial, spiritual, psychological, and emotional harm towards my people. And I'd like to show you this. 280 pages. It says 263, but it's actually more. So I'm going to type in Kombumerri. No, nothing comes up. No, type in Yugumbeh with a G. Nothing. Disenfranchised my people. Let's type in Yugumbeh. Yugumbeh language. Yugumbeh elders. Traditional owners of the land with the Gold Coast. Not correct. Yugumbeh people. Yugumbeh elders. They developed a rap. Yugumbeh Region Alliance. Craig Williams, Rory O'Connor, Yuck. Linda Bawumaway, she should know better. Language, Yugumbeh, Yugumbeh, Yugumbeh elders, Yugumbeh land. Future Yugumbeh leaders, Yugumbeh nation, Yugumbeh museum. Dave Chappelle to explain the spiritual harm, the emotional harm, the psychological harm and financial harm that is done to my Kombumerri people.
And I see something I've never seen before. 3-card Monte. You know what that is? Yeah, the guy had the whole thing. The table was set up, and he had the 3 cards, and the crowd was hooting and hollering, and he was like, find the red card, find the red card. And people were playing. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but it was really exciting, and I'm standing there watching it, and I noticed while I'm watching them play this game that the red card, the one you're trying to find, had just a little bend on the corner. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, yo, this guy doesn't seem to know that red card is bent. I'm going to beat this motherfucker. And I walked up to the table, and I said, let me play a hand. And I put my last $60 on that table, and he starts to shuffle and find the red card, find the red card. And I kept watching that bent card go around the table, make sure I kept my eyes on that bent card. And when he stopped shuffling, and he said, find the red card, I pointed to it with confidence. Here it is right here. And he flipped it over, and it was black. And he took my money. I couldn't fucking believe that. How did this nigga do that? Was that magic or sorcery? I was confused. So you know what I did? I sat there, and I watched him for a real long time play the game. And I realized that all those people who was doing all that hooting and hollering and betting, my God, they were his friends. They were in on the whole thing. I felt so wronged. I felt so stupid. And then the next sucker came up to the table and was about to put his money down. And I said, fuck that, man. Don't put your money there. All these niggas is in on it. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
Causing spiritual harm, psychological harm, emotional harm, and financial harm. Less than 1% of Kombumerri were represented at Commonwealth Games when the overwhelming majority were freshwater Yugumbeh speaking people. We have our own language. We have our own language group. We're Ngunnawal. We're separate from freshwater. They don't have mittens or dolphins or dugongs or sea turtles. They don't have the connection that we have to the salt water. They're freshwater people. But they're down here, and the overwhelming majority of them in this alliances to outnumber our local tribal identity, disenfranchising our people. It's a form of genocide. They've got Linda Bormaway there in a very lengthy welcome speech at Com Games, not acknowledging us once, not once. You crook. You're a crook. Were you paid? Ted Williams, were you paid? This is robbery. It's theft. It's trespass. What are you doing? What are you doing to my people? We've had enough of it. You freshwater people, you don't belong on our country. And sick of it since Com Games. We're sick of it ongoing since. Luce Cora doesn't come from our country. He's up there representing my people. I have an article at Ocean Road magazine calling us all blow-ins, and him and his family are the true locals. How dare you? You fraud. You're robbing my people. You're stealing bread out of our mouths and stealing our identity, which is akin to killing us. How dare you? Check out this clip of Linda, manager at Datsip, calling my Kombumerri Narangwal country her country. What a fraud. How dare you? You know, and appropriating our dreaming stories. You know, we've got to be real careful with the culture we share, because you knock off our knowledge, you knock off our stories. You know, that's disrespect. It's akin to killing us, really. And Lufa, check out what he's done, saying that the paper bark for us Gold Coast families is the indicator, the flower indicator for when the sea mullet's running. Wrong. You know, we've got a couple of indicators, but none of them are the paper bark.
This dragon is my mother and deserves the respect of all who visits or lives here. To all of my elders and all of your elders, I acknowledge what has been done to bring us here today, and I hope may you work together as we have worked with Wanda, the dolphin, in harmony, knowing our individual jobs, to ensure a win for all. Historically, we work closely with Wanda to help feed our families by herding fish into the shallows.
Fish, which is the mullet fish, and the mullet is very important to our people, our family here in the Gold Coast and also the Tweed Heads area. The mullet fish will migrate from the cold waters in the south to the warmer waters in the north during the cooler months. And when we see the paperbark tree just starting to flower, that's the very first sign for our family that it's time to gather our fishing gear, our spears, our nets, head down to the water and start fishing.
I'd like to introduce you to Alfredo, my old stomping ground. I used to play at Narang Roosters. So did my other cousins, my first cousins. It was our stomping ground. He is doing smoking ceremony. Not sure why, but anyway, he's tight-knit with this alliance to outnumber our voice. When asking him why you're doing a mullet festival without consultation in our country, told me he doesn't need permission from us or anyone to do any cultural thing he likes on our country. You wouldn't do an oyster festival over Minjerribah without consultation of the TAs. So I don't know why they feel the need to do mullet festival without consultation of my people. They're disenfranchising us. It's akin to killing us. They never had any commercial net fishermen like we did on our country. My cousin Matthew was the last great fisherman of the Kombumerri. Rest in peace. They don't know the stories, they don't know the knowledge, they don't know protocols, and we're reluctant to share it with them anyway because of how they treat us. They just take what they need from us. They don't ever ask, they never want to engage with us for protocol's sake. They got no conscience when it comes to culture. It's appropriation wherever you can get it, you know? And Alfredo recently targeted my mum in front of a panel of Queensland health people. She was there working, and he'd targeted her, humiliated her, bullied her, And he was typical Alfredo, singling out my mother who had physical disabilities and mental health. She'd been in abstinence-based recovery for 7 years, and as a result, she busted, and that's what I'm saying. This is akin to killing us. What she's doing. He's got no regard and trying to tell us who we are. We're not Yugumbeh. We're Kombumerri Naringwa. We have our own language, and all of you, what you've done, inequality is extreme. Anywhere you find inequality, it's extreme. And that's what you've done to my people. So I'm calling for a boycott of Yugumbeh indefinitely from being acknowledged, recognized, engaged. They need to be called out. It needs to be put to rest, what they've done and what they continue to do. Immediate boycott of Yugumbeh.